podcast. I'm your host, Danny Bonsignor, and I am so thankful you are here today. I pray that I can help encourage you to feel, to love, to heal, and to help encourage you to view all of your experiences, your conversations, and interactions all through a lens of love. All right, welcome. Hello, I'm so happy you are here. Thank you for tuning in today. This is my 11th episode, and I wonder what episode I will feel like I no longer need to say what episode we are on, but I just get so stinking excited that this is my life, and I have a podcast, and I love being here, and I love every single one of you who takes the time to just listen to what I have to say. So thank you for tuning in today. As I just said, I'm so grateful you have taken this time to listen to this episode, and I pray this episode helps you as much as the ideas that we are going to discuss have helped me. I am so excited for this episode today, so we are going to just jump right in. I wanted to talk about what it means to be both firm and kind. I used to use the term gentle parenting a lot, but I feel like you hear the word gentle and immediately you are thinking of permissive parenting. If you don't know what permissive parenting is defined as a parenting style with low demands and high responsiveness. So this may look like tending to your child's every whim, doing things that they are capable of doing themselves. This can also look like doing whatever your child wants, whenever they want, and giving in because your child is throwing a fit. Basically, you are living to please your child. Even with positive discipline or positive parenting, it seems like people will automatically think it means you let your kid do whatever they want, and the idea that there is a middle ground, that you can learn how to be respectful to not only your child, but also yourself and the needs of the situation doesn't seem feasible. Showing our children how to respect others is important, but it's also important to teach them how to respect themselves, and they can learn this by watching you. Children learn to respect others by first being respected. I do want to take a moment and just share the definition of the word respect, because it wasn't a word I had looked up before, and it was just kind of something that, you just know what it means. But I'm so thankful that I looked it up, because the definition shined a new light on how I use and perceive the word. According to the Cambridge English Dictionary, the word respect is defined as showing admiration for someone or something, showing politeness, or to honor someone or something. After learning this, I asked myself, how does one earn respect from their child? The idea that you must use harsh disciplines and punishments and forced respect, which ultimately can just end with children who resent you in one way or another. Forced respect when they are younger does not promise respect when they are older, and the majority of your relationship with your child will be with them not as children, but as adults who we want to respect us because they want to, because we earned it, because we have always respected them first. This is why being both firm and kind is so necessary. First, we are kind to our children out of respect for them, but we are firm out of respect for ourselves. So what does this look like? It looks like responding to your child respectfully while also following through with what you said. I want to share a real life example of how this looks. I remember when my daughter was, I'm not sure what age exactly, but it was when she was old enough to walk and also ask for things when we would go to the store. I distinctly remember the first time I told her no, we weren't buying something, and the meltdown that followed. I remember what Target I was in. I remember where we were, and I started to get stressed. And it's so crazy how you can you just remember how it felt. And I started to get so stressed when we would go to the store because I was so fearful of another public meltdown. And meltdowns in public are hard for me, and I'm sure they are hard for you and many other parents too. When you feel like you are disrupting other people's lives, the staring, the voice in the back of your head that makes you feel like you are a bad parent because you don't have complete control over your child. And now you're stressed and you might be resorting to either authoritarian parenting, which is firmness without kindness, or permissive parenting, which is kindness without firmness, or maybe you are neither firm nor kind. I remember thinking that I didn't want to just buy her everything she asked for because there is no way that that is going to result in a quality I'm hopeful she will have as an adult. So I decided to just embrace the meltdown, which was actually an opportunity for her to realize that one, it's okay to be upset. Two, she can handle feeling upset. And three, mommy means what she says and won't do something no matter her behavior. Now, at 3 years old, we can walk through the entire toy section of a store and a simple I love you, but we aren't buying a toy today, every single time she asks, spoken with kindness, is all it takes. Sure, some days there might be tears, but they don't last long. Some days I have to repeat this phrase more often than I would like, but always, always with a respectful tone, a simple, I know you wish you could have that toy, and I love you, but my answer is no. Being both firm and kind, following through with what I said so that she knows I mean what I say. You could also see how a child might respond better to I love you and my answer is no, as opposed to how many times do I have to tell you you aren't getting anything? The way that we say things matters just as much as what we are saying. It can be helpful when your child is of age to have a conversation ahead of time of what to expect. I am firm in the idea that I don't want to be a parent who is always saying no. So sometimes I like to create opportunities that are similar but give me the option to say yes. So we love going to the Dollar Tree for crafts. And the last time we went in, I let her pick one toy and one book. And every time she asked for something else, I repeated, I love you, and you can pick out one book and one toy. And then I would ask her if she would rather have this toy or that toy, and she would think about it and put back the toy she didn't want. Side note, I have found that walking through the toys or books and just browsing and talking about the toys she likes for 5 to 10 minutes can make the rest of my shopping trip a breeze, or giving her the option to pick out a few books to look at in the cart. This helps because one, I'm not stressed about her just seeing the toy section or feeling like I need to avoid her seeing the toy section for fear of what that might cause. And so it's just really helpful to get it out of the way, or to let her know, first we're going to shop and then we're going to look at the toys, or we're going to look at the toys for 10 minutes and then we're going to get what we came here for. The most important thing being, if you mean it, say it. And if you say it, follow through. The goal is to avoid empty threats, because your child will learn that you don't mean what you say, and they will want to push you until you give in. But if they know that mom or dad means what they say, then they know that crying or pouting or whatever won't work, so there is no point. Your child might be disappointed, but that is okay. It's okay. Disappointment is not a bad thing, and your child will be better for having been given the chance to strengthen their disappointment muscles and know that they will be okay, that they can feel disappointed and their world will go on and they will be happy again, and they are strong enough to get through the feeling of disappointment. Which, when you think about it, how often as adults do we feel disappointed? And how often do you know that it will be okay? I want to add that it is never too late to admit to your child how you have been handling a situation and that it hasn't had a positive effect for you or them. And so from now on, you will be doing XYZ. And if your child is old enough, it's great to ask them how they think you should handle certain situations that you both struggle with from here on out. And being open to trying new things, and if they fail, figuring out other ways to handle a situation. My daughter is 3, and another situation that we have struggled with in the past. I wasn't planning on sharing this, but I feel like it might help someone. She likes to run in the stores because she's 3. But we discovered we choose together before we go into a store. We always choose, I give her 2 words. So usually it's a really silly word or it's an animal. And so I always say, what animal do you want to pick? And when I say that animal, that means that you have to stop and come back to mommy. And she'll say something like alligator. And I say, okay. And if you don't come back after I say alligator, what is another word that I can use? And she'll say something like octopus. And I'm like, okay. So I'll say alligator. And if you don't come back, I'm going to say octopus. And if you don't come back, and she says, I'll come back. I'll come back, mommy. And I'm like, okay, I really believe that you will. But you're human. So what if you don't? What should we do about it? Let's just have a plan. And a while ago, we decided that if she doesn't come back after I say the 2 words, then that means she has to sit in the cart for 5 minutes. And I will set a timer on my phone. And then I'll give her another opportunity to be able to run and be free in the store, because we make mistakes and we learn from our mistakes, but we should always be given another opportunity to try again. And so I have not had to put her in the cart for a while, but I will follow through with it. So if I say both of those words and she doesn't come back to me, I stop, I get down eye to eye, and I say, okay, I said those 2 words. What did we decide that we were going to do if you didn't come back to mommy after I said both of the words? And she knows. She'll say, sit in the cart for 5 minutes. And I'll say, okay. So now we have to sit in the cart for 5 minutes. Do you want mommy to help you get in? And she'll say, yes. And then we'll sit in there for 5 minutes. And there are no tears, usually, because she's prepared for this. She knows. And then after that 5 minutes, it's not likely that she will do it again. And now we're at a point where she just knows. So we always discuss our 2 words before we even enter the store to start shopping. And that is just something that she has a say in what she would like to do. She has a say in the consequences, but she also knows that I will follow through. And so she wants to make sure that she comes back to me. And that is something that has been tremendous in just making shopping less stressful for all parties involved. Okay, back to the regularly scheduled programming. If any of this that we were discussing beforehand sounds like you or something you may do, I just want to say I get it. I get that as a parent, we want to help our child in every possible way. But we have to be mindful if we are helping or hindering. If we are helping because they actually need help, or because it is more convenient to us as the parent. An example of something just being more convenient to us as a parent, but not for our child in the future, is I remember how I used to help my daughter pull up her pants after using the restroom or even getting dressed. Shortly after she turned 3, I had this moment where I was just like, wow. And I will say that she's been potty trained since, I don't know, like it was beginning of last year. So she was not yet 2.5, a little after 2. And so that's like a long time that I was helping her, like a year I was helping her. And I was just like, wow, how are you ever going to learn to do this for yourself if I keep doing it for you? Because it's quicker when I do it. There is no frustration or crying when you just do it for them. It can be especially challenging to watch your child learn certain things if you are in a hurry, or you could easily just do it for them. In hindsight, yes, it is easier in the moment, but would you rather have a few challenging moments in hopes of raising a person who is confident that they are capable, or someone who feels overwhelmed and helpless, whether they are facing small problems or large ones? Allowing both the time and making certain tasks accessible can help you keep your sanity while also helping your child gain confidence in themselves. And so I remember I started by saying, I love you and I know you can do this. Or I see you're upset when she would be frustrated doing something. And then I would just sit there in silence while she figured it out. But acknowledging her and letting her know that I see she's upset, but that I know she can do it. And then giving her the space and the time to figure it out. Some things I have personally done for my daughter is create a space so she can hang up her own coat, access her gloves and hats and shoes, so that when we are getting ready to go out the door, having a task that she can easily access whilst giving her a sense of purpose and feeling like she has a choice helps us get out of the door. So allowing her time, just, hey, do you want to go downstairs and pick out what shoes you would like to wear? Do you want to put your hat or your coat on first? Just giving her options, because children work better when they feel like they have a choice than if you were just commanding them to do everything. Other things could be getting drinks or snacks, having a space that is easily accessible. Children want to be able to do things for themselves. They desire the need to feel capable. It is possible to remain calm and conscious of your thoughts when your child is having a moment, but it does require consistency, the will to be and do better, time and patience. When we are upset, frustrated, or angry, which, by the way, none of these feelings are wrong. It is good to feel. It is normal and human to get angry and upset or frustrated. It is normal to flip your lid. But what we do and how we treat our children when we feel like this is the ultimate battle of self-control and emotional maturity. I get that you might not have been taught how to control your emotions, but if your parents couldn't teach you this, it is probably because they themselves didn't know how. You can't teach what you don't know, but you get to decide how you react to your child. No one makes you feel any certain way. You make yourself feel however you feel. This this was very hard for me to hear the first time I heard it, that I am responsible for how I feel. I could be so quick to say, you're making me feel this way. And even if my child or my spouse is doing XYZ, and they might trigger some emotions in me, ultimately it is my choice and how I choose to feel and react. When you blame other people for how you feel, you start giving your power away and you start feeling helpless in stressful situations, and you don't have to feel this way. You are in control and you are the parent. And while you are the parent and you are in control, it is so important to make sure that you are not abusing this power that you hold, which brings us back to the importance of being both firm and kind. Respect goes both ways, and what an honor it is to be trusted to raise your child. I talked a little before about guilt being something we use to keep us stuck. I have never felt guilty for handling a situation with love and respect. I have never felt guilty that I took the time to make sure I meant what I was saying before I said it, and I have never felt guilty for acknowledging my mistakes and admitting to my daughter that just like her, I too am learning, and we will continue to learn and grow together. You only get one childhood with your child, and I used to hate when people would say things like this, but they are only little for so long. So have the courage to be imperfect. Make sure that when you fail, because we all fail, make sure you are failing forward, that your failures are what drive you to grow and not what you use as an excuse to hold you back and keep you feeling guilty. If your children are already older, do not underestimate what it could mean to them to witness you acknowledging your mistakes and choosing to grow where you can. And if you are grandparents, to be better grandparents. It's never too late to say, I'm sorry, I didn't know better, and I'm trying. And always remember, actions speak louder than words. I pray that you have a wonderful next couple of weeks. I pray that something you heard today really resonated with you, and that it speaks to you, and that it just plays over and over in your mind as you go through the next couple of weeks. I am so grateful to you for tuning into my podcast and choosing to grow alongside me. I love you. Jesus loves you. You are exactly where you are meant to be, and you are the exact parent your child needs. So be sure to tell them that you are thankful that God has trusted them to you, and that even though you will fail, you will never stop trying to be the parent they deserve. And as I mentioned before, actions speak louder than words. Closing today, I just want to pray for you. Lord, I love you. I am grateful to you. I am so thankful that you have brought this episode to those that need to hear it most. I pray you continue to speak to the mothers and fathers who are strong enough to seek your truth and your comfort while they lead the children you have entrusted to them. In your mighty name, we love you. Amen. And until next time.